Good afternoon, Rachel.
Hello, Mr. Miller. How are you?
I am well. I am here in Houston, Texas,
Yeah.
sitting sitting in the Admiral's waiting room
Mm-hmm.
for
And
American
I'm going to give
Airlines.
you in the shins next time I see you because you know that I hate doing podcasts with you when you're out on the road. You know
Yes,
I hate it. Like I'm mad at you right now because
but we'll have a fun show because
okay,
I've
whatever.
been I've been doing all kinds of fun research while I've been here, asking people
Can't wait to
questions.
learn all about it. I'm gonna ask you all sorts of questions. But before we get moving anymore, we're in season 2, episode 9, and welcome to the Rachel and Mr. Miller podcast, where we discuss real estate, real life, and occasionally things we probably shouldn't. We're pros in the buying and selling of residential real estate, but nothing you hear here is legal, financial, or professional advice outside of our licensed wheelhouse. We're just two people talking, listen, and proceed accordingly, and hopefully enjoy.
They will
There you
absolutely
go.
enjoy. Yes, just like a
There you
pro.
have it.
And there you have it. Exactly. So I'm here in Houston, Texas. I was been at epic shareholders event and it's talking to, I think it was last night. You said, "Are we doing a podcast?" I said, "Yes, we are." And one thing I started talking about last night with people and even here today in the Admiral's Lounge is what it's called, is follow up. And you and I have touched on this before about follow up and how people do it and how they don't do it and what people like, what people don't like. What are your thoughts on follow up before? I'm going to say after the sale. What are your thoughts on that?
Follow up after a sale.
Uh-huh.
I think it's paramount. And it's 99% of what we do is following up, whether it's after a sale or it's after a connection or if it's after an introduction or a meeting or anything after a conversation, following up after a conversation. Our business is built on following up and following through. Even after a transaction, at least in my office and what I have learned is just because a transaction is over doesn't mean that that person is no longer a client. They are forever our clients until they tell us to go away. But they are forever our clients, and following up after transactions I think shows that you cared how things are going for your client once the transaction is done. It's really important.
So I am not leading you down the path because my shins will get bruised. How often after a sale, how often do you feel that someone should be followed up upon after a sale? Weekly, monthly, daily, every other day? What's your thought on that?
Well, I think it depends on the person and the client and what the circumstance was. There could be other things that the client needs that you can help connect them with other people, whether it be contractors or tradespeople, or maybe they need to refinance 6 months down the road, 12 months down the road, and maybe they need a name, need some advice, need some help on that front. I think it really just all depends. Recently, after I've closed a transaction, just because of what I knew my buyers went through to to purchase and to move, I stayed in touch with them quite often right after the transaction because I felt that they didn't know a lot of people in the area, and I felt like I could just be there as a sounding board, especially for the wife, and give her some kindness and some friendship. Drop off a house plant, make sure got dropped off a Christmas present, and just kind of popped by with some little extras, things that I thought might be helpful. So it just really all depends on your clients, what their needs were during your transaction, what you can project their needs might be after the transaction, but definitely at least 2, 3 times a year, reaching out to them personally, not just a note or a postcard or a flyer or an email, but giving them a call at the very least. And if they're close by, pop by, do a little stop by and see if you can say hi to them and just say, "Hey, I'm in the area. I was in the area. Thought I'd come by and see. I know you were going to redo the patio, or I know that you are remodeling the kitchen. I'd love to see how it's going." Do those kind of things.
Yeah, I can agree with that. I guess I don't guess. The reason I'm even asking that is I was talking to somebody last night that I said, how often do you follow up? And he said, I never follow up.
Like,
I was like, what? He's like, no, I never follow up. And the guy is a very, 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 did I say very, very successful
it's amazing.
realtor. He does a huge amount of sales and he
Him
tells
personally, or does he have a team?
excellent question. It's him personally. He's a loan agent.
Hmm.
He works for a large brokerage and does very, very large numbers.
Where's his market?
Texas. And he starts his follow-up process during the sale saying, I am not going to call you a couple weeks after. I'm not going to send you a Christmas card. I'm not going to send you a birthday card. I'm here to sell you a house. However, if the roof blows off, call me. If the house is flooding, call me. So he will be there in lickety split. And he told me some stories about that happening. They had a huge wind come through town. And one of his customers, his roof flopped backwards.
Does
And
he do roof repair?
he did that day. The roof folded backwards. They refolded it back, nailed it down, and said, the guy's like, all I could do was think about you when you said, if I have a problem, call you. So that's what he did. He had another customer whose basement flooded, and he got a call, and he jumped in his truck and went racing over there with a sump pump and started.
Well, that's great. But here's what I have to say about that. And no disrespect to this gentleman who has figured out how to find success in that business model. I'd like to know, does he get referrals from those people that he says, I'm never going to call you? Call me if your house blows up. And also, me personally, I don't want to hear from my past clients just when there's catastrophe. And I am not going to go on top of a roof and try and patch holes and keep a roof from flying off.
I don't know.
So,
Mark said you look pretty cute in
yeah,
overalls.
I think it's more, I want to be a little bit more proactive than that.
And I would agree. I was listening to the guy really intensely, saying, okay, interesting. And answering your question is most of his business is referrals. He does very little marketing. He's been doing the business for 12 years.
That was going to be my next question.
Been doing the business 12 years. Most of his stuff is referrals.
I would love to know, when did his business start to take off in a way that became more automatic? How many years was he in the business before that started?
I don't know the direct answer, but I can tell you that he's been doing it for 12 years and very successful. So
Great.
it could have been, I don't know the answer. See, that's why you should have been in Texas. That's all I'm going to say about that right now.
I can't go to Texas.
Is that warrant still active?
All my exes live in Texas.
Isn't that a song?
Can't be there.
Play it backwards.
Cannot be there.
Yeah, it was really surprising when he said that.
It is surprising. I would have loved to have that conversation with this person. We should have him on as a guest. I just really want to chip away at this one. I really do.
I'm going to say no. Well, I'll call
No,
him and I'll say,
I'll be nice. I'm so curious. Please let me know how that. But every market is different too, and clientele is different in all these markets, and expectations from these clienteles in different markets, they're all different.
And agents are different. I mean, he goes in right off the top goes in right goes in. Thank you, that word. He goes in right off the bat saying, "Hey, I'm not going to send you a Christmas card. I'm not going to send you a birthday card. To sell you a house, and we're going to do the best job ever. If there's a problem, call me."
Yeah.
And then conversely, I was talking to some other people. I was talking to someone sitting next to me a little while ago and said, "Hey, are you a homeowner?" And they said, "Yes." That's the conversations you have in the airport. You know what I mean?
You asked them what?
I said, "Are you a homeowner?"
Oh, a homeowner. Okay.
And he raised an eyebrow and said, "Yes." I said, "Who was your last agent?" And he said the person's name. And I'm like, "Oh, how long ago was it?" He goes, 12 years, 14 years, something like that. I was like, "Wow. Have you used them since?" He goes, "No, haven't needed to." But he knew he was 14 years ago. I said, "How does he follow up?" He says, "He follows up with me every time there's a rate change in interest rates." He happens to get his interest rate is like 2.4%, something really, really low. He's like, "I'm not going anywhere." So his interest rate's really low. If it ever gets lower, his agent reaches out to him and says, interest rates are coming back down. When interest rates were fluctuating back in 2020,
He was hearing a lot from him.
he was he was hearing a lot from him. It never got lower than he had, but actually it did. That's when it went down to 2.2 or 2.4, something like that.
Yeesh.
So you got a great deal. And that's when he heard from his agent, is when the interest rates changed. And it's like, oh, interesting. And that goes back to somebody I talked to last night who said the same thing, is he hears from his agent when there's an interest rate change, which I totally get. And it's funny, is you and I have had our several podcasts about staying in your lane. And
Kind of what I was thinking.
I saw that written across your glasses. It's screened across it. Is I don't know what I have an idea what a lot of my customers' interest rates are. I would reach out to the guy who did, or the guy or gal rather, who did his or her loan and say, hey, if they do a refi, are they going to save any money that way? Yeah, they probably will. Then I would either reach out to them, or I would suggest that the mortgage broker reaches out to them and says, hey, let's get some money for your house. There are people that I know that send a every 2 weeks market update on their buyers' homes after they bought it. I don't know that I want one every 2 weeks, but I'm also in the market, or not in the market, but I'm also in the industry. So I guess I'm wearing rose-colored glasses. But for myself, when I send stuff out to my customers, I will send it out probably 2 or 3 times a year, and it may just be what's happening in town this year. Like I'll send it out in July because we have a lot of stuff that happens in Ridgecrest in July. I'm like, hey, this is what's happening in July. Here's some stuff happening in December. Just giving people updates. And when there's something, like a major event happening, like when the almost said bluebirds, Blue Angels came to town, that'd be a big deal. They'd probably want to know something about that. So when there's a big community event, I'll send an email out to my customers and give them a heads up. Thoughts, opinions, emotional outbursts?
I stay in contact more frequently than that and sharing all sorts of different styles of information, because largely it's just kind of staying top of mind. Even if what I sent to people may not be that important to them, they're seeing my name, they're seeing my number. It's reminding them that I'm out here doing this job and that I'm available to them.
You had something recently happen like that, and the guy was not a customer yet. You were in your area where you live, send out information saying, hey, everybody, how you doing? I'm Rachel.
Yes,
The guy reached out to you and said, I have a bunch of your information here. I want to talk to you. And he
that
was
is
leaving.
true. He was asking me to connect him with an insurance agent or a broker, but he said, hey, I've got a stack of your mailers and postcards that you've been sending over the last year. I'm not looking to sell right now, but I'm wondering if you could help me out with this other thing. And I connected him with a insurance agent that was able to help him get homeowners insurance, which is not an easy thing to do these days. And then another example of that is there is a gentleman that does a lot of the property management where I live. He oversees about a dozen rental homes here. Over the, many decades, he's managed these individually, and some people are aging out and he is getting ready to retire. And he was given my name by somebody who has a hold of all of my flyers and my cards and information here. And he reached out to me. So that was another great connection. And making sure I follow up with all of these connections is key to maintaining and growing a successful business. You're muted. How did that happen? You're muted, Miller.
There, I'm
There you
unmuted
go.
now.
There you are.
I'm I was muting myself because of the background noise over here. So now I'm unmuted. What about the person that you're talking to and they say, you know what, just leave me alone. Don't reach out to me. I don't need to know anything. Do you put them on a do not contact, or do you just
Sure.
do it randomly and say, hey, how you doing? Uh,
Well, I mean, it kind of depends. I don't cold call. That's one thing I don't do. I have emails that go out and some people have unsubscribed, and that's totally fine. But sometimes I'll just dwindle it down to where if they don't want my emails, I'm writing them handwritten notes once a quarter. Hi, it's Rachel. I'm in the neighborhood. I'm a licensed agent, keeping my eye on the market. Townhomes similar to yours recently sold in the whatevers. and I just wanted to let you know I'm here and feel free to contact me. We can explore ideas, that kind of a thing. So even sometimes just a handwritten note, people can appreciate that more than a fancy glossy flyer or an email that goes out to 500 people because the notes are specifically for them.
And even though we're in the email and in an electronic era, who doesn't like to receive a handwritten note in snail mail?
Totally
No,
true.
I mean, when I hear agents doing that, or I get one myself, I flash back to when I was a kid and would get a letter or a card from a grandparent, and that's
Yes.
what I flash back to something like that.
And we're so used to just getting junk now. Nobody like even so sometimes friends will send me a birthday card or I send birthday cards or I send thank you cards. And the feedback is, wow, nobody ever does that anymore. And also, I have to say, I believe baby boomers really appreciate that. Baby boomers really like getting handwritten note cards. Younger people in, generations like millennials and whatnot, that may not catch their eye, but baby boomers really do like that. It's more in their generation of how things were done.
And just to go off track for a second, you know how old a Gen Z is right now who's ready to buy a house? Ready for this? Go ahead. Go ahead.
Well,
Guess.
I think that I don't know if this is the question you're asking me, but now the average age of a first time buyer is in the 40s, early 40s. Is that what you're asking me?
No, because you're right
No.
on that.
Okay.
Gen Z is 30.
Okay. So that's like
Like,
my daughter's generation.
right. Well, your daughter, my son's generation.
Mm-hmm.
Their generation they're buying a house at 30. And there's a lot of agents that are like, oh, they can't buy a house. But then those agents are usually the ones who aren't really connected to what's happening in this day and age with different things happening, whether it be crypto. Wow, totally went out of my head. With people, Jared's age is they made people made a lot of money in crypto, and they're buying
Mm,
houses at 30. And you are absolutely correct to what you said originally. Is the average home buyer? I think you're right. What did you say, 40 or 42 or
40.
something like that? Yeah, and that's that's changed. Is it wasn't like that, and then we have even some older people who are downsizing their homes, and they're in their 50s and 60s, or they're upgrading their house depending on where they happen to be. I That's where it comes back to the follow-up that we've been talking about, is if we're not keeping in touch, we're not going to be top of mind. When you're dealing with these customers when they're buying houses, you are helping them through one of the largest financial decisions they may be doing. But of course, it's a flipper who does it all day long. So
Right.
customarily, they're trusting you, they're trusting myself, and they're trusting their agent with tens of thousands of dollars in millions in a lot of cases, and making sure they know the right thing and how to do it. And it comes down to knowing, trusting, and liking. And when they're getting a follow up, they know you, and they're probably going to like you if you're sending them a handwritten card. Probably going to like you, and you're doing it regularly. They're probably going to trust you too.
I write 5 to 10 handwritten cards just about every day.
I haven't gotten one lately.
Okay. We're heading into the last segment of our 30 minutes, I want to hear about your meetings that you were just in and what you've learned, what's up and coming with Epic, and like what are your top 3 exciting takeaways?
My top 3 exciting takeaways. Epic has gone. We went live 4 years ago, and here in Houston, Texas. We are currently in every state of the union, including, well, yeah, every state of the union, and we're in Canada. And it was announced yesterday that we're now in Australia. That was announced yesterday. And the broker from Australia, whose name is Josh, he walked up on stage, and we're all sitting there with our eyes about that big around, going, "What? When did this happen?" And he came up and said, "Yeah, we can do that." And they did a video share of the area leader in Australia. And we have probably 6 more countries coming online here in the next 3 or 4 months, which to me is just amazing. I've been at Epic for 2 years, 1,032 persons to join this quote startup end quote. And now we're approaching 5,000 agents. That to me is pretty dang cool. The owners of Epic, they don't charge to go to their meetings. Yes, we have to fly out here and stay in a hotel, However, Josh and Chris were sitting at my table when they weren't on stage. They're sitting at my table, and I didn't pay extra to have them sit at my table. They just even sat at my table. I did some stuff that to me was very exciting. Just having these guys who run Epic, just chilling and hanging out with everybody. So Australia was big, and we are going to be going public before the end of the year. And that's also very exciting. We're a debt-free company, and we have no investors. We're a company-owned company. People are an employee-owned company. There we go. That we all own shares. Wearing my shareholder shirt, Epic shareholder. Wearing my shareholder shirt. That is everybody at Epic is a shareholder. When you come on board, you're a shareholder. That to me was very exciting. We had a good time, and now I've just been sitting in the airport all day waiting for my plane to fly back home. Tweet, tweet.
What time is your flight?
8:00 Texas time.
What time is it right now then?
5:46.
Well, you've got some time still. You got to the airport early. You've been there all day.
I've been here since noon. Well, when it comes to flying, especially with the current worldwide situation, I was like, I think I'll just get there really early. I'll go hang out in the Admirals, whatever it's called, the Admirals area, and hang out and do some paperwork and get the homework done and
There's
hang out.
always plenty to do, right?
As realtors, if you're not busy, you're not doing it right.
It's
I mean,
always something to be working on, reading,
listening to different podcasts.
podcasts.
I think that's one of the things that we both do is listen to different podcasts throughout the week, just seeing what else is happening. We can't
I was
rely on
going to
just
ask
what we
you
see.
what other podcasts, what podcasts do you like to listen to? Because I haven't found one a favorite yet.
Real estate, I enjoy listening to.
Real estate. Okay.
What I actually did is I went on to and said, Siri, playing real estate podcasts. And she just started pulling up random podcasts, and I listened to them all the way down from Siri's now trying to find podcasts for me. It's a 3-hour drive from LAX back up to Ridgecrest. So I'll listen to podcasts all the way back up to Ridgecrest.
Oh my gosh, you've got a long haul in front of you, mister. Holy smokes. I don't know how you do it.
With my eyes open
Oh
the
my
entire
gosh.
time.
I would be like, okay, get me a room at LAX. I'm spending the night. I'm drive home tomorrow.
I have thought about that. That's one of the reasons why I leave late is I don't want to get to LAX at like 5:00 and then
No,
try to
you
drive
do
home.
not.
Nope.
No,
Nope.
you do not.
So I get to LAX and I jump in a shuttle over to the Chatsworth flyaway where my car is, and then I fly away from there. But it's
Planes,
funny.
trains, and automobiles.
It's pretty much it. What's funny is there's like the flight from Houston to LA is about 3 hours, and the drive from LAX to Ridgecrest is about 3 hours.
You could probably drive to Houston in
You know
the
that
8 hours that you're.
I thought about that. Oh, it's funny. I'm going to go back to follow up for a second because we have a couple more minutes. I'm selling a house for a friend of mine up in Sacramento, and I've sent him an email saying, hey, what's happening? Blah, and just kind of a friendly follow up. He told me he was moving to Texas. He called me and goes, hey, I'm moving to Texas. Come sell my house. I'm sorry, what? Slow down. What are you doing? And it was a friend of mine. And I reach out via Facebook and an email and say, hey, what's going on, man? Just thought I'd touch base and say hi. Wasn't even talking real estate, just saying, hey. And he's like, I'm selling my house. Go up here and sell it for me. I'm going to partner with somebody who knows that market. And that's something we've talked about a lot.
That's
Is we
amazing.
don't want to go and try to sell a house that we have no idea what's up there. I mean, I did spend a lot of time in Sacramento, but I'm not there currently. Know that I could not represent him to the best of my ability. It goes back to staying in your lane. Yes, my lane is real estate. However, a big bird just flew by. I don't know the market up there. And that to me would not be a good idea for me to say, yeah, I can sell your house. And I see people do that all the time. It drives me crazy. Stay in your lane, know your area.
Yes.
Right?
That is true. And also we may not have resources up in areas that are further away from us. I was given the opportunity to contemplate taking a listing that was 3.5 hours away. And at the end of the day, I chose not to. I did give them a referral to somebody closer. But the reason why I chose not to is because of what you said. I don't think I'm going to be able to do my job as well as I like to do it 3.5 hours away from your home that you're trying to sell. Also, I don't have photographers up there. I don't have home inspectors up there. I don't have those in my Rolodex yet. So Having the infrastructure of all the people that you need to make sure that your listings are successful. You want to have all of that.
Absolutely. We talk about this all the time. We are fiduciaries. Our job is for our customers first.
Clients first.
That's
That's right.
that's what we have. That's what our legal responsibility is. And a lot of people say, "Oh, well, I want to get paid." Well, do it the right way. Do a referral and talk to people and get to know people. Have a referral.
Connect people. I'm coming at this as a people connector versus a sales agent.
Yep, absolutely, 100%. And I mean, we do that. I talked earlier about the guys whose roof flopped backwards. Is he a roofer? No, but he was today. But he was able to connect him to a roofer. And the guys whose almost said subway, his basement flooded. He's not a plumber, but he was able to get somebody out there to get that stuff taken care of. So you're right. When it comes to real estate, we are people connectors. People know and trust us, and we have to do our own due diligence to make sure that we can help them in any and every way possible. So before you tell me we're at 31 minutes, I'm going to say, Rachel, how do people get a hold of you?
You can call me 805-813-0664. Email me at rachel@gratishomes.com. My website is rachelmoreno.gratishomes.com. Miller?
And you can reach me at 70264-3501 or Scott at homeswithscottkmiller.com or my site, homeswithscottkmiller.com. Took me a second. Yeah, homeswithscottkmiller.com. And my email is Scott Miller at Epic, EPIQUE. Wow, I almost forgot how to spell Epic. It's funny when I go to write something out and it uses the word Epic, I'm like, wait, I got to put the other Epic in there. So it is the right spelling, though. Anyway, Rachel, as always, it's a pleasure. And I will go and find an airplane to go fly away home. And I will talk to you in California when I get back into town. I will not have Julie cocktail. Yes. I will talk to you soon. Take care. Take care, everybody. Hey, until next time, take care. Bye-bye.